वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य अज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा गदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरून् श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवां च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादा सगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्ता राधाकान्ता नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमां विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Let's begin. So March 7th is Gaura Purnima. It's on Tuesday. I would suggest you all to fast if possible. We fast from sunrise to moonrise that day. Okay, so evening when moonrise happens, we break the fast with grains. So same rules and regulations. No taking grains. You can either fast with. I mean, you can take water, milk, fruits, nuts. All this. In extreme cases, you can also have sabudana, but no having grains. Okay, same rules that we follow for Ekadashi. And we break the fast in the evening during the moonrise. Probably it should be 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. I'm not sure. I will be posting the details soon in the group. And then we have temple programs organized that day in the evening. Link will be shared shortly. Okay, so please do attend. I think you've already got the link. It's shared in the group. Please do attend. We can attend the aarti and finish the aarti. When the aarti gets over, we can break the fast. Usually that's how we do. So make time and attend. It's online, so wherever you are, you can just attend on your mobile phone itself. Okay, so let's begin. Like the previous classes, we have been beginning our classes with a bhajan or anything that glorifies Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So today, since this is the last class before Gaura Purnima, this is the last class. So I thought we will take up something that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has left for us personally. So like how Krishna had left Bhagavad Gita for us, the scripture, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not leave any scripture, but he left this 8 verses called Shiksha Ashtakam. Shiksha is instruction, Ashtakam is 8 verses. Okay, so 8 verses of instructions. These 8 verses of instructions can change our life. Okay, we can actually become Krishna conscious instantly, and because that is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? He is the Lord himself. So let's begin in detail. We cannot do it in detail because the meaning is very very deep. We cannot even touch the superficial level. But how much ever we can, the tip of the iceberg, we will do. Okay. चेतो दर्पणमार्जनम् भवमहादवाग्निनिर्वापणम् श्रेयाकैरवचन्द्रिका वितरणम् विद्यावधूजीवनम् आनन्दाम्बुदिवरदनं प्रतिपदम् पूर्णामृतस्वादनम् सर्वात्मा स्नपनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्ण Sankirtanam. The glory to Sri Krishna Sankirtana, congregational chanting of the holy names of the Lord, which cleanses the heart of all dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. Mahadhavagni, right? Bhava, Mahadhavagni. Bhava is the repeated birth and death in the material world. Mahadhavagni, this is the biggest difficulties we have, right? Birth and death. So, by congregational chanting of Sri Krishna, the holy name of the Lord, Sankirtana movement can at once extinguish this fire of birth and death and free us, okay, liberate us. So that Sankirtana movement is the prime benediction of humanity at large because it spreads the rays of benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. Sarvatma snapanam param vijayate. The eternal happiness that we are all looking for, which is available only in Goloka, we are searching for it over here, which is not available. Right? We are searching for it in the wrong place in the material world. Right? So it is just the Sri Krishna holy name, the Sankirtana movement, that is going to free us from all this. Gives us the transcendental bliss which we are all hunting for, the questing for. Um, नाम्नामकारि बहुधा निज सर्वशक्तिस् तत्रार्पिता नियमितः स्मरणेन कालः एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवान् ममापि दुर्दैवमीदृशं मिहाजनिनानुरागः. So now we learned that it is through chanting that we can get the eternal happiness. So Shikshashtakam gives us from scratch, okay, from A to Z, our devotional life, the journey, how to lead and go to Krishna. So it is like in 8 verses in the capsule form. Shikshashtakam literally holds our hands and takes us to Krishna. The first verse tells us that happiness that you are looking for is in Sankirtana movement. By chanting the holy name of the Lord, you can achieve that. Second verse is about the chanting, the importance of chanting the holy name of the Lord. So Namnamakari Bahuda Nitya Sarva Shaktis. Krishna has invested all his energies, all his potencies um, in the holy names, in his names. And to make it easier for us, it is not just one name that Krishna has left us with, right? Krishna has so many names: Krishna, Mukunda, Murari, Govinda, Gopala, right? So many names, and we can choose any of the names, and all his names are equally potent. Ajamila chanted Narayana, right? Just once at the time of death, and he got a second chance. He got freed from Yamadutas, and he could go with Vishnu Dutas to Vaikunta. So his name has that power, because his name and Krishna are not different from each other. Krishna and Krishna's name are the same. Nama Chintamani Krishna, it is the most effulgent and most powerful. Abhinatva Nama Namine. Krishna's name and Krishna are not different. They are the same, they are one and the same, equally potent. Why? Because Krishna has invested all his energies in the holy name. And just by chanting the holy name, we will also get to attain Krishna, associate with Krishna. And there are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. Oh my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. Right? Krishna has made it so easy. We don't even have to get up from our place, just chant where you are. But unfortunately, it is our misfortune that we have not got any attraction to the holy names. Right? Despite understanding so much of how so much of value about the holy names, despite understanding the glories of holy name, still we are not attracted to the holy name of the Lord because of our papa karmas. Right? Cheto darpana marjanam, it begins with, we have to cleanse the mirror of the mirror. Self is like a mirror, okay? Right now this mirror has fully accumulated with dust of our papa karmas in the previous janmas or this janma. Okay, when we cleanse it by chanting process, only we can cleanse the mirror so that we can see our real self into the mirror. Our real self is our spiritual identity, what we are in Goloka, how we are serving Krishna in Goloka or Vaikunta. That is our spiritual identity. Right now the mirror is covered, we are not able to see. All we can see is dirt and dust. That is the material form of us, the fine kind of life we have right now. But once we cleanse the mirror, we will be able to see and reveal our true identity to ourselves. And that is going to happen only by the chanting process, rigorous chanting with sincerity and attentiveness. त्रिनादपि शुनिचेन तरोरपि सहिष्णुना अमानेन मानदेन कीर्तनीय सदा हरि. So one should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than a straw in the street, and one should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of self prestige, and should be ready to offer all the respect to others. In such a state of mind, one should chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. Kirtaniya Sadahari. So now we understood the importance of the holy name. Now the next verse is about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying how to chant the holy name of the Lord. Okay. So how to chant? In what mindset should we chant? Trinadapi Shunichena. We have to be humbler than the straw on the street, the blade of grass on the road. Okay. What kind of humility is that? When somebody comes and stamps on the grass does not respond, right? Does not retaliate. What does the grass do instead? Stands up, right? It sleeps when the foot is on the grass. It sleeps. Again, when the foot is taken off, it stands up, right? Determination, that is the determination. And humility, it's humble. It is letting anybody stamp on it, but it is not giving up its determination. Same should be our mindset. We get lot of thoughts when we chant the holy name, right? Only when we sit in when we sit for chanting, we will get lot of thoughts. When we are not chanting, we will not get any thoughts. Most of the time this happens. But don't give up. Whenever you are realizing that, okay, I'm thinking about something else now, bring your mind back, concentrate, bring your mind back to the beads, back to the mantra that you're chanting. Okay, that is the only way. That is the only way to control, tame our minds. Mm. And then tolerance than a tree. Tarorapi sahishnuna. Tree gives us everything: shelter, fruits, shade, everything. But one fine day, what happens? We will go cut the tree off, and the tree falls down. Right? So it is so tolerant. The tree knows it's not gaining anything, but still it gives itself for us. Every part of the tree is utilized: trunk, leaves, everything. But what is the tree gaining? Nothing, right? Tolerant. So we have to be tolerant. Whatever comes, whatever obstacles come in the way of our chanting, we should not give up. Okay, determination is very important. And these things are all because of the sarvopadi vinirmuktam. It's because of the false prestige we have, the material designations we have. I'm a woman, I'm a man, I'm that, I'm this, I'm a CEO of a company, I'm a sweeper on the road. These kind of material distractions, I mean, distinctions should not come in the way. For to Krishna, we are all equal, right? Krishna sees all of us samoham sarvabhuteshu with equal vision. So only when we come out or get free from all these are called padis. Okay, sarvopadi vinirmuktam, tat paratvena nirmalam. So that's when we purify our senses. Rishikena rishikesha sevanam uttamam bhakti ruchyate. So that's when we actually purify our senses, because now we are free from all the material designations. We know we are what? Eternal servitors of the Lord. Jivera Swarupa Hai Krishna Nityadas. And then what we do? We serve all with all our senses, with all that we have, we serve the Lord. Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchita. That's when it is called devotional service. So this we will attain only when we chant in this mental state of mind. Trinadapi Shunichena Tarorapi Sahishnuna. This mental state of mind we have to chant constantly. न धनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितं वा जगदीश कामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरी भवताद् भक्तिरहैतुकी त्वयि. Now when you chant and chant and chant, you progress forward. When you progress, our mentality will change. We will get into pure sadhana state. So that's when this verse comes into act. So when we do our sadhana properly, chanting properly, what happens? We become free from all the desire for material enjoyment. So I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire for beautiful women, nor do I have any number of, nor do I want any number of followers. All I want is your causeless devotional service. Causeless, unconditional, without any expectations. A devotional service, birth after birth. Mama Janmani Janmanishwari. And then Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Mam Vishame Bhavambhudau Kripaya Tava Pada Pankaja Tatadoli Sadrasham Vichintaya. O son of Maharaj Ananda, Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or the other I have fallen into this ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. So we all know this. We were all initially servitors of the Lord in Goloka itself, but it was because of our own arrogance. We wanted to enjoy without Krishna. We wanted to become the Lords. That's why we are here today in this condition, suffering. Right? So I'm your eternal servitor. Somehow we have fallen down, but please pick me up through your causeless mercy. Okay, we need to pray for his mercy. Kripaya tava pada pankaja stitaduli sadrasham. Place me as a dust particle. Okay, atom at your lotus feet. That's enough. For a devotee, that much is enough. Just association with Krishna is more than enough for a devotee. Devotee does not want anything else. नयनं गलादश्रुधारया वदनं गद्गदारुढाय गिरा पुलकैर्निचितं वपुकदा तव नाम ग्रहणे भविष्यति. O my Lord, when my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly, when I chant your holy name, when will my voice choke up and when will the hairs on my body stand on end at the recitation of your name? So this is what happens even more further when you advance in your sadhana process, chanting process. This is the stage we all reach. The moment we see Krishna or the moment we hear about Krishna, the moment we start chanting, we start crying. We start crying out of separation. Why? Because we are all separated from the Lord. Out of that intense separation, we feel it and we start crying. Because we want to meet Krishna, we want to see Krishna face to face. So these Ashta Satvik Vikar happens when you are intensely thinking about him in separation, feeling love for him. These eight bodily changes happen. Hair standing on one end, voice choking up, crying, fainting. These things happen. They are eight in number. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to display all the eight whenever he used to go and see Jagannath in Puri. The moment he used to see the deity in Puri Jagannath, he would display all these eight, the Ashta Satvik Vikar, and he would faint, he would fall, sometimes he would not wake up for hours. Um Again, he would wake up out of intense love for Lord. He would not even be able to say full name of Jagannath. He would say Jaga, Jaga, Jaga. His voice was choking up. He could not say full name Jagannath. He would say Jaga, Jaga. Again, go unconscious. I mean, that is the bhava. That is the Krishna prema stage. When we get love for Krishna, we will also reach that stage. When I don't know how many years of pure devotional, I mean, how many janmas of pure devotional service it takes. Janmas of pure devotional service. Right now, we are not doing pure devotional service. So, once we start doing pure devotional service, janmas and janmas of that, and then we will get Krishna prema. Okay, but it is through mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If you take to this Krishna conscious path, then Krishna prema is guaranteed. It's guaranteed. Okay, you might not get in this janma, but at least in next janma you will get. It's guaranteed. युगैतं निमिषेण चक्षुषा प्रवृशयतं शून्ययितं जगत्सर्वं गोविन्दविरहेण मे. So for a devotee, now this is the stage where we completely become devotees. Okay, and what happens? Yugaitam nimishena. Every moment is like years, years and years. It passes like years in separation with Krishna, and tears starts flowing every time, like torrents of rain. And everything in this world becomes void without Vasudeva, right? Vasudevam sarvamiti. Govinda virahename shunyamitam jagat sarvam. Everything is vacant in this world in Krishna's absence. um, आश्लिष्य वपदारतं पिनष्टु माम् अदर्शनान्मर्महतं करोतु वा यथा तथा वा विदतो लम्पतो मत्प्राणनाथस्तु स एव न पारः. So I know, no one but Krishna is my Lord, and He shall remain. So even if He handles me roughly by His embrace or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me, He is completely free to do anything and everything, for He is always my worshipable Lord unconditionally. This is the stage where we have become completely surrendered to the Lord. This is the Krishna Prema stage, Madhurya Bhav stage, which is the highest rasa we can perform worship to the Lord. In this stage, what happens? We have given ourselves to the Lord completely, complete surrenderance, Atma Nivedanam, where we have submitted ourselves to the Lord, to the lotus feet of the Lord. He takes complete ownership of our soul. We will not have anything of our own, no desires, no emotions, nothing. We have dovetailed it off to the Lord. And in this stage, a devotee, you know what a devotee says? Do whatever you want. I have given myself to you. You want to make me cry? I will cry. If you want me to laugh, I will laugh. If you want me to, like anything, if you want to hurt me, you are free to hurt me. If you want to break my heart, you are free to do that also. Whatever you want to do, you do. I'm completely in acceptance with it. That means we are giving away ourselves to the Lord. This is the highest form, Krishna Prema form. All the gopis, Radharani, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all of them demonstrated this form, and this should be our goal. Like I already told, in which janma we will attain, it depends on our purity of sadhana and karma. But determination has to be there, because only then we can reach that stage. We have to start somewhere. We have to start and go along that path. If you stop your journey, you will not be able to reach your destination. So that is why we have to be very determined. Whatever happens, for one good thing to happen, 100 bad things come as vignas, obstacles. But we are supposed to be very determined. We are not supposed to give up. Prinadapi Shunichena, we just saw, right? We have to be like the grass, straw on the street. How many people stamp on it? It never gives up. Okay, let's begin. So I took time to explain Shikshashtakam, just the superficial level, because like I told, Mahaprabhu's birthday is coming, right, on March 7th. So um, it's to he is Namo Mahavadinaya Krishna Prema Pradayate. He is distributing Krishna Prema free of cost, just like that, to everybody. We have to take advantage. Um, okay, we have to take advantage, and uh, get get Krishna, attain Krishna. So this is how we start. Sadhana process begins with chanting, ends with chanting. There is nothing apart from chanting. Okay. So chanting should be the main focus. The more and more you chant, the more and more nearer we get to Krishna. Okay. Now about Prabhupada. Let's have quick rapid fire session now. You can answer. You can unmute and answer. All of you are free to unmute. Okay. So what is Prabhupada's name? Name he got. The parents gave him the name. What name was it? Yes, Saroja Mataji.
Abhayacharan,
Abhay. Yes.
Arvind,
Aravinda was after he took initiation, after he took Diksha from Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. That's when he got Charan Aravinda. Aravinda was added to his name, but otherwise it was Abhay Charan. Okay. And what are the two instructions his spiritual master gave him? Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati.
he should spread the spiritual Krishna consciousness to the whole world.
And?
And he should publish books, write and distribute
Yes.
books.
Haribol. So two instructions, two main instructions. Preach Krishna consciousness specifically to the Western countries, out of India, and print books. If you ever get many, print books, as many books as you can. And then, why Prabhupada was chosen to preach Krishna consciousness in the Western world? Why not other disciples? There were so many disciples for Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati.
Because
Anybody?
he was good in English.
Yeah, he was good in English. That is first external reason. What's the actual reason, the internal reason? Anybody?
From childhood, he was celebrating, he was doing all the
Yeah, all that
devotional
is
service.
there. Okay. But why him? Others were also doing devotional service. Why him specifically? Who is he? What did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu introduce Prabhupada as? Anybody knows?
Yeah,
Did it?
he was his Senapati.
Yes, Senapati Bhakta, right? Mora Senapati Bhakta. So he is going to come and preach Krishna consciousness outside India. It was so I am going to do my job only in India. For other countries, a special person is going to come. I have dedicated this job to that special person. Mora Senapati Bhakta. That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, and he is Prabhupada. Right? So that's why Prabhupada comes and preaches. Okay. Now we will continue. So yeah, now he establishes League of Devotees, right? So we did till this. Before ISKCON, he establishes League of Devotees. That is the organization. So before ISKCON, it was this, but then it didn't run. It was not taken forward, unfortunately, because of the political pressure. Okay, the building in which the League of Devotees was conducted, that building, a politician came and pressurized Prabhupada, asking the building for some Mahila Samaj activities, ladies club activities. So Prabhupada had to give it off because he did not want to take up quarrel and complicate the situation. The actual goal is spreading Krishna consciousness, not sitting and quarreling with people. So Prabhupada gave it off. Okay. And so he did not get any support from family members also. We already saw that last class, right? The tea and the this thing, the tea. So Prabhupada asked his wife actually after this incident. You remember the tea incident, right? Anybody remembers? What did she do to have tea? Yes, Prabhupada.
Mataji, she bartered it. She gave away all the writings of Prabhupada ji,
Yeah.
and in exchange of getting a tea.
Yes. So, least support. I mean, not even like zero support he got from his family members. That's why Prabhupada was like, and Prabhupada used to hold meetings, preachings, and all that in one room, and in other room, his wife, children, and all would sit and have tea and coffee and talk and have fun. So, Prabhupada did not want to, asat sanga tyaga, right? We should not associate with non-devotees, and it was high time for Prabhupada. Prabhupada had taken the instructions of his guru so seriously that it was high time for him to take it forward. He had to bring them into execution. So that's why he asked Radharani, the wife of Prabhupada, and two options he gave. You want me or tea? You can choose. Radharani thought he is asking for fun, and she also said in a funny way only. She said tea. I don't want you. I want tea only. And so that moment, Prabhupada left his family, quit, gave up his family life, and he walked out of his house. And what all hardships he went through. He had to go house to house, stay in one home, and then after some time leave that house, go to another house. Like whoever invites him, he would go stay in with that family, and then leave, go to the next house, stay with that family. So because he had given up no his family life completely. So in Delhi he would wander around, and he would stay, search for houses, homes, families to give him, stay with him. And then without income, because he had given his job also up, no institutional shelter, nothing. uh, uh, I mean, we can just imagine. I don't even know what to say. So much hardships he went through. And then finally, what happened? He had started Back to Godhead magazine, but then unfortunately, he was not able to publish it. No money, no support. Right? He was just writing, compiling things and keeping, but not able to publish it. No, and publishing was not easy those days. It's now very easy, right? Publishers themselves come to you and give you the publishing opportunity, but those days it was not like that. Cost of paper was also high, and everything was high, and we had to go behind publishers, requesting them, falling to their feet. Things were that difficult. It was never a cakewalk for Prabhupada. Okay, we all think he's a devotee, Krishna will help him every way. Krishna shows by example nothing is easy. Krishna, attaining Krishna is even not easier. And even Pandavas went through so many hardships, right? They were also eternal servitors of the Lord. But they also had to go through a lot of hardships. Only when hardships come, we become very, very near to the Lord. When we are very happy, we forget the Lord. When we are distressed, Krishna, 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 we start praying. When we are happy, nothing, right? When we get a loss in our business, we go and ask Krishna, why did you give me loss and all that. When you get profits, do you go and ask Krishna? Forget about asking Krishna, you don't even go and thank him. And that's how we are, right? We get caught in the Maya. And yeah, beginning in 1956, Abhay Charan distributed the Back to Godhead magazine in New Delhi. So finally, he arranged and he printed and he started distributing. And then proofreaders, he could not find proofreaders because he had to pay for them. Nobody is going to do anything free of cost. He started doing that also himself for all his books, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, everything. And later on, he got people. But initially, it was single-handed, one-man army. And Abhay sent copies of his latest issues of Back to Godhead magazine to the President of India, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, along with a letter. So, what is this letter? I have got a clue of going back to Godhead. Just after leaving my present material body, in order to take along with me all my contemporary men and women of the world, I have started my paper, Back to Godhead, as one of the means to the way. I am crying alone in the wilderness at the present moment, wrote Abhay, but His Excellency never replied. So, what does this mean? Prabhupada said, I know how to go back to Godhead. Sarvatma snapanam param vijayate. We just saw in Sikshashtakam, right? The eternal happiness everybody is hunting for, exploring for, literally, is not present in this world. We are looking for it in the wrong place. I know how to get that. How I know how to, what is the way to that eternal happiness. I've got a clue. Okay, going back to Godhead. But I don't want to go back alone. I want to take everybody with me, all men and women with me. Because he does not want the entire world to suffer. So Prabhupada is an eternal servitor of Radha Krishna. He was in Goloka. Okay. He came to this world looking at us suffering. He did not want to, out of mercy, merciful heart, he came. He wanted to free us. Okay, that is the purpose he came to this world. That's the reason all the hardships he went through, and just for our happiness, just to give us a way, give us a path. And what are we doing? Every word that Prabhupada wrote in his book, or every copy of Bhagavad Gita we read, or every copy of Srimad Bhagavatam we read, it was not a cakewalk for him to give it to us. We have instantly, we are getting access to it. What all he went through to give that one copy to us. Can you imagine? Right? Just give me one moment. Okay. So he had to struggle a lot to take us all back to Godhead, back home, back to Godhead. So it's our responsibility to take his hard work or efforts seriously, sincerely, and take to this Krishna conscious path seriously without, taking things lightly. He had no obligation. Like I already told, he was in Goloka Vrindavan. He came out of his own, merciful heart that he came to deliver us. So he had no obligations. It was for us he did it. And what all he went through. One time during the distribution of the magazine, a stray cow knocked him down. And other time during summer, a heat stroke attacked him, right? um yeah. So lamenting Srila Prabhupada's Bhakti Siddhanta's absence and the fall of the Gaudiya Mutt, he composed Bengali poem. Now Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati has finished his pastimes and left this world, gone back to the spiritual world, okay, his spiritual master. So out of separation from his spiritual master, he composed a poem called Viraha Ashtaka. Ashtaka is 8 verses, Viraha is separation. Separation from his guru, he composed upon me. Just that same dream he would get every single day. And what he would do is what would he say? Follow me. Sannyas ashram. He was officially not a sannyasi, right? He had given up family life, but Prabhupada was still a gruhastha only. So now Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati was like, you take sannyas. Okay, the moment we take, I mean, sannyas ashram is like a license. We can, there is no material obligations or any kind of considerations for a sannyasi. Sannyasi can go above and beyond any level to preach Krishna consciousness. But for us gruhasthas, it's not possible. We have family obligations, we have society obligations, all that is there. But so we can do it within a boundary. But for Prabhupada, for sannyasis, that's not the way. They take sannyas ashram to preach Krishna consciousness. That's why Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati was like, it's high time you get your license. Start taking sannyas ashram. And then Prabhupada took sannyas from Bhakti Pragnana Keshava Maharaj on September 17th, 1959 in Vrindavan. Okay, he stayed in Radha Damodar temple in Vrindavan. We will see that later. And printed the first 3 volumes of Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, so Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, as instructed by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati to print books, Prabhupada was constantly working on that. Finally, successfully, he printed first 3 volumes of Srimad Bhagavatam. And Tokyo Convention theme. Okay, this is a Japanese meet, annual meet or something like that, which they organize. It was on the theme World Peace through cultivating human spirit. So now, side by side, along with writing and printing books, Prabhupada also marketed. He had to market his books, right? Only then people will buy, and Krishna consciousness can spread to a larger number of people only with proper marketing strategies. That's why, along with selling, he also presented his books to influential people and constantly started finding out opportunities. That's how he got this exposure, Japanese meat. And then the so Prabhupada proposes a speech in this particular event and writes to the sponsors of this event. He would be presenting the speech on how should one cultivate human spirit. Okay, now how should one cultivate human spirit? The phrase is very deep. Okay, the meaning is very, very deep. Do you cultivate human spirit? Human spirit in itself is spirit, right? Spirit has no death, no birth, no death. It is just there, ever existent. Satchidananda, the spirit soul. The spirit soul's nature is Satchidananda, equal to that of the Lord qualitatively. Krishna is also Satchidananda, we are also Satchidananda. But what is happening is, the moment we have come in contact with the material nature, the spiritual, the the spirit soul has forgotten its actual identity. Okay, the Atmaha is happening. What is Atmaha? Suicide of the soul. The soul is misdirected, thinking that the soul is going to be remain in this material world, completely enjoying the material world. That is not the fact. The soul is crying because the soul is deprived of its food and its eternal nature, right? What is food for soul? Spiritual activities. Krishna. When Krishna is around, the soul is happy. But right now, so Krishna, we are separated. Soul is crying. This Atma is happening. Okay, what is our duty? We have to cultivate the soul. Soul is in dormant stage. When you sow a seed in the soil, the seed is in dormant stage, right? We have to cultivate and germinate the seed. Same way, we have to wake up our soul and cultivate this soul, so that we can all become Krishna conscious and go back to Krishna. That is the meaning of this phrase. So this secretary general of the foundation, Mr. Toshiharu Nakuna, wrote back to wrote back to him, expressing the permission. He's saying, okay, fine, you can come and present the speech. Okay, on this Indian spiritual culture, you can present a speech, but for that, what you should be doing is, the sponsors are giving him the passport, visa, everything. But unfortunately, tickets were not booked. He did not get the tickets to go to Japan. Okay. Uh, I'm very sorry. Give me a moment. So that's why he couldn't make it. Okay. So he had to, arrange for the ticket and all that. And then finally he went to Radha Damodar temple in Vrindavan and he stayed there. This is still preserved, okay, like his birthplace in Bengal, how it's preserved here in Vrindavan. This place is also preserved. It's preserved by ISKCON, maintained by ISKCON. Radha Damodar temple, where even Rupa Goswami's samadhi is there, and all his the place where he used to sit, his bed, everything is there. We can go and see even now. So Bhakti Siddhanta Swami moved to, he stayed there for some time. He used to sit and write and print books there. And then he would plan to go to America. That was the first instruction, right? He had to go to the Western countries and preach Krishna consciousness. So his room was in such a place where he could see the deity Radha Damodar, a portion of the altar. The deity was 4 foot high, and black marble was Krishna. And Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami worshipped hundreds of years ago. This deity was worshipped by Krishnaraj Kaviraj Goswami. Who is Krishnaraj Kaviraj Goswami? He is the compiler of Chaitanya Charitamrita, the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If we are able to understand anything about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes, it's because of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, who happened to compose this. And Prabhupada translated it, wrote the puppets, and gave it to us for us to read. Okay, so writing was only half the battle. The other half was publishing. As I said, it was difficult. And Bhakti Siddhanta Swami went out all alone to sell his books and present them to important people. Dr. Radhakrishnan, who gave him personal audience, agreed to read the book and write his opinion. So all influential people, he used to go and get the testimonials to market his books. And the Ministry of Education placed an order for 50 copies for selected university and institutional libraries throughout India. The ministry paid him 600 rupees plus package and postage charges, and Bhaktivedanta Swami mailed the books to the designated libraries. This is how he used to sell the books. The US Embassy purchased 18 copies to be distributed in America through the Library of Congress. Now he reached international marketing stage. Finding it difficult to even publish one book, now he's reached a stage where he can market his books internationally to America as well. Now, in January 1964, interview with Indian Vice President Zakir Hussain, who, although was a Muslim, had written an appreciation of Bhaktivedanta Swami Srimad Bhagavatam. I read your book Srimad Bhagavatam with great interest and much profit. I think I thank you again for the kind of thought which you must have prompted, to present it to me. See, Krishna consciousness we already saw in the last class also. It's beyond, it's transcendental to all the material religions, worldly religions that we have. Okay, a Muslim not no, you're a Muslim, you cannot take up Krishna consciousness. All that is bullshit. Okay, it's for Krishna we are all equal, right? Samoham sarva bhuteshu. For him, no, there is no discrimination. Why are we getting discriminated? Right? Dharmyam, it's Krishna consciousness is the purest form of religion that takes us to Krishna. Religion is the path that takes us to Krishna. Okay, and Krishna consciousness is the true religion. It's the true path that takes us to Krishna. Every other path ultimately brings us to this path from where our actual journey begins. Okay, be it karma yoga, be it ashtanga yoga, be it jnana yoga, all of these come and leave us at bhakti yoga path. From bhakti yoga we actually start our real journey to Krishna. Okay, and AC Bhaktivedanta Swami met Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri at the Parliament building in New Delhi, June 1964. The next day, Bhaktivedanta Swami wrote to Prime Minister Shastri. He would soon formally signed by the Prime Minister. Dear Swamiji, many thanks for your letter. I'm indeed grateful for you for presenting a copy of Srimad Bhagavatam to me. I do realize that you are a you're doing a valuable work. It would be a good idea if the libraries in the government institution purchase the copies of this book. So he started getting recommendations and endorsements for his work. Ministry of Eternal Affairs and informed that there is no issued a no objection certificate for him to going to the US. Okay, so he had applied for a no objection certificate because that's his motto, right? Purpose of preaching. So he had to go to the US and preach. So for that he needs all the necessary documents. He was working on that also. See how many things Prabhupada was working on. Multitasking, publishing books, writing books, reading books, chanting, doing his spiritual sadhana, right? And then getting into all this paperwork, then finding opportunities to cast a wider net to market his books, right? Meeting influential people every day, meeting a lot of people, preaching. I mean, can you imagine 2 hours of sleep? That age, 69 it was when he went to America. A lot of people ask me, this question was asked, okay, when I was teaching previously in some other batch, a person asked me, a devotee. So he went to America at 69. What was he doing till then? Preparation. Okay, preaching Krishna consciousness is not easy, and we need a lot of preparations. And if he does not even have one solid book or whatever with him to preach, then who will listen to him, right? He needs books, his own books. If he has to ask people to read his books, he should have books with him, right? So to publish it, it was not a cakewalk. We already saw how difficult the situation was, right? So preparation was what he was doing. He had not forgotten anything. He had not forgotten his instruction. He had not forgotten anything. All that he did was sincere preparation to go there and make Krishna conscious movement a success. And then he got passport and all that. Visa had to be given. Sumati Morarji Mataji gave him, helped him with all this. She also gave him a free ticket to Jaladuta ship. Initially, she said, "No, you're so old. Look at your body condition. In this condition, I'm not sending you." Okay. Out of affection, she told, "No, I'm not sending you there anyway, because you are very old at this point. It's not going to be working for you." But then, you know what Prabhupada used to do? Every single day, he used to go to her house. He would be like, "Any update on my ticket and things?" She would again say the same thing. "No, you are old, you cannot go." Again, next day, Prabhupada would go. and say, any update on tickets and all that. So every day, so innocent, Prabhupada used to go and ask every day. And Sumati Moraji was like, okay, this person is very determined. Look at his determination at this age. She got impressed and she booked, arranged everything. Free ticket. She was a ship owner. The owner, I mean, the name of the ship was Jaladuta, transportation, trade and transportation. So she gave him free ticket to his own, in her own cargo, I mean, cargo ship itself. Okay, it was a cargo ship where uh, things were, I mean, goods were transported to America, and she gave him a place in that same cargo ship, and he went there during the Jaladuta ship. I mean, the travel in the Jaladuta ship, he underwent again so many hardships. His life was filled with hardships. Okay, so what happened there? Um, he suffered 2 heart attacks. At the age of 70, 2 heart attacks. Can you imagine who will be able to take it? It's very difficult, right? One moment, I'm very sorry, sharing the wrong PPT. So he suffered 2 heart attacks, and if he gets one more heart attack, he would literally had to give up his life. Okay, so that was, you know, the that was the condition of his life he was in, because he was 70 years of age, I mean old, right? And this common refrigerator was there. He had to store all his vegetables and fruits in the common refrigerator where people used to store non-veg. He had to share, and with the same stored vegetables he had to cook and offer food to the Lord. See all that he had to go through, right? He had to cook himself, offer it to the Lord, and then he got seasickness also because constantly looking at water. Right? At that age, so much of hardships he had to go through, and and then finally he prayed, because one more heart attack he would not be alive. His body would not take it. Two consecutive heart attacks, one more heart attack, his body would not be able to take. So what he has so many responsibilities, not even started preaching in Western world, right? If he leaves the body, it's not going to work because the purpose will remain unfulfilled. So what he did, he prayed to Narasimha Dev. And then he was like constantly praying, and he chanted, and he wrote Jaladuta poem. Okay, it's a prayers, it's called Jaladuta prayers, where he wrote how helpless a devotee can be, completely depending only on Krishna's mercy. If you get a chance, please read Jaladuta prayers. It's available on ISKCON blog, ISKCON Desire Tree, and all that. Translation is also there. He wrote it in Bengali. Um, such a it just um, it's mind blowing. You need to read. It's very nice. You know how it goes. A small snippet I would like to share. Okay, it says I'm a puppet in your hands. You make me dance, make me dance, make me dance as you like. I'm going to do is dance because you want me to dance. Right? We are all puppets in Krishna's hands, and however he wants to control us, he is controlling us, and we are going to act that way. Right? That's how a devotee's mindset is supposed to be. The same thing he prays in his he prays in his prayers. And then and that he composed the prayers and he sleeps that night. And what happens in a dream, this is a very famous dream, okay, that Prabhupada gets. In a dream he gets Krishna in his dream. Krishna is, captain, as a captain of the ship. The ship is going in Jaladuta. The Krishna becomes the captain of the ship. He is literally driving the ship forward, taking him to America and landing him there. The Vaikuntha, all Krishna's associates, eternal associates, are all there in the dream. Okay, and then he wakes up and then he says, okay, now I understand the significance of this dream. That means Krishna is personally supporting Prabhupada, holding him and driving him forward through all the hardships and obstacles. Okay, so Krishna is the captain, not just of the ship, of his life, of Prabhupada's life, driving him, right? Then Prabhupada says, now I have complete faith. I'm not going to fear for anything. When you are personally helping me, why should I fear? Right? So faith is all that we need. Only Shraddha. Rakshishyati iti Vishwasa. Whatever happens, Krishna will protect. That is the kind of faith we should have. not just any, not just in Acharya's life, not just in Prabhupada's life. In our very own life, when we get hardships, we have to cry in front of Krishna and ask him for help, not others, or not saying, okay, I will manage, I will overcome this myself. No, that strength only Krishna can give. Okay, 17th September he finally reached Boston safely, and then 19th September he reached New York Harbor, and then stayed at YMCA during the day. He stayed. See, before going to New York City, he stayed in Butler, again Gopal Agarwal and Sally Agarwal's house. And there he spent some days. Initial days of his Western country's journey was actually in this Butler place. Okay, he used to stay and he would cook for himself. Wherever he goes, he used to cook for himself. He would carry this, like you see here. It was levels of brass pan. Okay, and one pan he would keep rice for steaming, then vegetables for boiling, and then like that he had levels. He so at once all the three things would be cooked, and then he would also cook rotis and all that. He would not just feed himself, the offer it to the Lord and feed himself, but he would give it to the family also, Gopal Agarwal and Sally Agarwal and all of them as well, because Krishna Prasadam, right? Feeding Krishna Prasadam is giving Krishna Bhakti. And then an article came up because a Swamiji with, see, after taking sannyas, we they wear saffron robes and their appearance changes. So this was like very new to the Western world. They had not seen all this before. So they used to call him Swamiji, okay? And so many press people came and covered articles on him. So one article read, the title read, "In fluent English, devotee of Hindu cult explains commission to the visit commissioned to visit the West." So this is like instant marketing he got, and then um, the caption was ambassador of Bhakti Yoga. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also called him ambassador, right? Senapati Bhakta. Here also it says ambassador of Bhakti Yoga. So now, um, this we all saw, right? And now from Butler he goes to New York City. Okay, and in New York City he stays with Rammurthy Mishra, and he is an impersonalist. Now, anybody can tell me who is an impersonalist? What is impersonalism? Mayavadism? Yes, anybody? What is Mayavadi cult? Yes.
They don't believe in God.
No, they do believe in God. Atheism
In
is
in Jyoti form.
yes,
In
Haribol. Yes, Brahma Jyoti. As the name suggests, impersonal. God has no personality, no form. Okay, God is impersonal, is what they believe. They just see the Brahma Jyoti because that is the first thing, no, that we see. When we have to see the sun, the first thing we see is the sunlight, the rays. Rays are coming out from the sun god, from the body of the sun god, right? So same thing these Mayavadis are thinking, it's just the rays. Sun means sun rays is what they are thinking. God means it's just the rays, Brahma Jyoti coming out of the Lord. Okay, that is just one covering that Krishna has. After, if we penetrate deep, you can actually see Krishna face and form features. Okay, so they stop at the Brahma Jyoti level, limited level, and they believe that God has no form because they are not able to see. They think that God has no form. Okay, but if people who have realized, like Prabhupada and Acharyas, come and tell us, because they have seen the Lord, we can believe that Krishna has form. Okay, but this Ramurti Mishra was a Mayavadi. So philosophies are clashing, right? Krishna consciousness philosophy outright states Krishna is a person. Purushottama, he is the best of the persons, Purushas, right? Philosophies were clashing. He was not able to preach very peacefully. Prabhupada was not able to preach peacefully. And even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu opposes Mayavadi cult. He says, Mayavadi bhashya sunile huye sarva nasha. Okay, everything will be destroyed if you listen to Mayavada philosophy. Do stay away from it. If anybody of your friends or anybody is saying Krishna, God is just energy, light, and all, please stay away from them. Okay, our bhakti will be hampered, tainted, and then constantly he need financial aid also, no, to start the preaching movement and all. So what did he do? He wrote a letter to Tirtha Maharaj, who is the god brother. That means he is also a disciple of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. Okay, that's how they are called god brothers. and then asking for financial help. And you know what Tirtha Prabhu said? Wrote back saying very politely, Gaudiya Math's funds are not enough and we cannot use them for this proposal of yours. So family did not support, very own God brothers did not support. Okay, it is Tirtha Maharaj's guru only who gave Prabhupada this instruction to go and preach. Still he did not support. Right, God brothers also did not support. No, nobody's support. That means this is proving that for a devotee should not depend on anybody else for help. Only Krishna. Krishna will make way. Krishna will make way. This is the faith we have to have. Whether we like it or not, this is the faith we have to have. Okay, this is the first preliminary step to attain Krishna Bhakti. Faith in the Lord. And then, yeah. And then next, not a day went by when he did not work on Srimad Bhagavatam. So constantly he had to write, print, write, publish, right? And he also used to take classes preaching Bhagavad Gita to people. So that's how he can spread. No, if people get to know, then only the preaching movement will be, can be taken advanced. So for that he needs people, he needs disciples, and then that's why he started taking class. And then for what happened, because he could not preach properly in a Mayavadi's house, Mayavadi's studio, yoga studio, what did he do? In the same complex he moved. He took a room for rent, okay, room 307, this is very famous, okay, and then he stayed there in that building. And then now he was free to preach as he liked. A lot of people used to come in. Now he by this time he had a typewriter with him, a tape recorder with him. He used to play kirtans. He would record classes, and he would type instead of writing manuscripts and all. He would start typing. Things got faster, easier. Okay, everything went well. But unfortunately, one day what happened? A janitor, okay, the cleaning person came and stole the typewriter and recorder. Okay, no mercy for people. I mean, old man's property, typewriter, tape recorder also people are not going to leave. They stole that also. Okay, and then when Prabhupada's typewriter and tape recorder was all stolen, Prabhupada was clueless what to do next. Right, one of his disciples who used to attend the class, David Allen, so he came and helped him. He was like, you move with me in my loft, right? So Prabhupada moved with David Allen and stayed there. Who was David Allen? He was not a person like you and me. He was a hippie. He was a drug addict. He was a smoker. He was a drunkard. Okay. Prabhupada was the one who made sure David Allen would come out. I mean, slowly come out of this drugs and all that. Prabhupada is trying to make him a full-fledged devotee. Okay, staying with him. Okay, but one fine day he would every day take drugs. Okay, and irritate. I mean, act crazily with Prabhupada. Prabhupada was tolerant. He was tolerating. Why? Because he wanted to make him a devotee. That was his goal. Okay, so he was tolerating. But one fine day it went to the extreme condition. He went very fully high, crazy, and he was acting very in a very bad way, and Prabhupada could not take it. Prabhupada is like a tree, as tolerant as a tree. Sarorapi Sahishnuna, we just saw in Shikshashtakam, right? He was, if Prabhupada is only getting angry, you can imagine to what extent David would have, mm, got crazy, right? And Prabhupada could not stay there a moment. He left the place. He left the place immediately. A 70-year-old man left the place. Day and night he had to walk without direction on the road, without food, without rest. Okay, on the street he walked because he didn't know where to go, what to do. No food, no rest. 70 years of age, health condition not supporting, no direction, doesn't know what to do next. Right, he walked on the street, and then where he reached, what happened, we will see in the next class. Okay, I would suggest you all to read about Prabhupada. What we are doing here in class is like very, very superficial. Okay, we are just going through every incident like in one line. Okay, so read. If not Prabhupada, Leela Amrita has volumes. It's very big. It's too much. But you can read Prabhupada biography. That is a little thin book. It's just one book, thin, and you can read that. Okay, that has all the every hardship Prabhupada goes through, it's the author has written it, Prabhupada's disciple has written it so in detail. When you read every line you read, you start crying. You will cry. Anybody will cry. Okay, so after we read that, we will never ever take Krishna consciousness lightly. We will make sure we follow Prabhupada's instruction and get up and chant. I'm sure because of the hardships that he went through to give us. Today, order online. Where is Srimad Bhagavatam? Order online. I will get it. Get it? Take the books. Hardly we open and read. To give that one copy, how much hardships Prabhupada went through. Why did he do all this? Please, please, remind yourself of all these facts before you say I will read tomorrow. Before you say I will chant tomorrow. Okay? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Okay. Can we stop the recording?